Welcome everyone. So today's video is my review on Scandal Pencils Down. Now, this was a really interesting episode again. So we're really right now going into the heat of the presidential debate, and it's the Republican primaries, I guess you can say, and you've got all these candidates running. So at the beginning of the episode, what we have, you see Olivia and Hollis Doyle, who's now last week's episode, he entered himself into the race. And then you have Lizzie, who is Susan Ross's representative there. And they were negotiating how they want the entire debate to go because Sally Lanston is going to host the Republican debate, the first debate. So I love Sally Lanston. She's so crazy, and her metaphors that she uses and says during the episodes is just hilarious. But anyways, she's gonna host it, and see Olivia doing her Olivia Pope thing, trying to make sure Mellie gets the best deal. Now, I still don't know if I'm used to the fact that Olivia is really pushing for Mellie to be president. And the fact is so weird because she sits there and talks about, Mellie is the most stubborn, most arrogant, most hard to deal person ever, but she still thinks she's gonna make a good president. I disagree. I don't even know how she sees that Mellie is going to make a good president. I never thought Mellie would ever make a good president, but hey, Olivia believes in her. I don't know. Part of me feels like this has really nothing to do about Mellie being a great president, and more it has to do with Olivia's guilt about sleeping with her husband. And now this is her way of making atonement or peace with it. Like, okay, I slept with your husband. I messed up with your life, your marriage, which was already messed up. It wasn't even Olivia's fault. But anyways. So I'm going to help you win this election for a peace offering. It's weird, it's stupid, but it makes sense. So anyways, Olivia is there supporting Mellie. So let's go into the whole debate thing. So now we have Susan Ross. We have, who else? Susan Ross, Hollis Doyle, Mellie. And now Edison is throwing himself in the campaign. If we all remember, Edison is Olivia's boyfriend from season 2. And she was supposed to marry him and everything. But of course, that didn't happen. She dumped him because she really was in love with Fitz and that kind of. And I really liked Edison and Olivia together. But we all knew that was just kind of like a setback for Olivia Fitz anyways. So he's running and she's thinking, oh, that's great. You would make a good president. And he's like, well, thank you for your support and so forth and so forth. So anyways, but Liv is still big on supporting. So the next thing we see that Olivia holds a focus group about Mellie to see what people think about her. They think about her that she's too snotty, too snooty. She thinks she's smarter than everybody else. She's a bitch. All kinds of stuff. So they're like, okay, you know what? You need to change your image. You need to make sure that you're down home. You act like you're a smarty pants. And Mellie is a Rhodes Scholar, so I guess the way she talks and acts is just based on her being a Rhodes Scholar, But it doesn't work for the voters. She seems out of touch. So Olivia's brain scheme was, hey, listen, why don't you go to a Gettysburg restaurant, put a cap on, go in, have, lunch with the people there and all that other stuff. So Mellie does that. She goes looking real homely, goes to the Gettysburg restaurant and sits there, and it's eaten with a family, but she makes a gaffe. She talks about going to eat Gettysburg burgers all the freaking time, when really she probably doesn't, and mentioned going there every single Sunday, which was a lie, and she got caught in her lie because just like Chick-fil-A, Gettysburgers are closed on Sundays. So the media is like, oh, she's a liar, she's this, and she fails, but Mellie gets so upset, and she blames Olivia for her gaffe, which wasn't Olivia's fault because Olivia didn't tell her to lie. She just told her to go sit there and eat some food with some people. But dumb Mellie, just couldn't figure it out, and she couldn't think on her feet and just messed everything up. So anyways, we're leaving it now to Olivia to try to fix her mess. On the other hand, Hollis Doyle is sitting there at the fire range shooting guns, toting guns and making bacon. So he's appealing to his base, and we know who his base is. So he's appealing to that. I swear to goodness, he reminds me so much of Trump, but I'm really thinking that was the whole basis, was to have him kind of a persona of Donald Trump. So he's got his base that he's kind of like trying to attract by doing what he's doing. And then you have Susan Ross, who's in the White House trying to debate prep with the president and Lizzie and everybody else to get ready for the debate. So, but in between all of that, something really bad happens for Susan. So somehow Susan, well, actually from Abby, Susan finds out that David is cheating on her because we know David's been sleeping with Liz, and it was Liz's idea to have David sleep with Susan Ross to give her that oomph to run for president. So she does, and she finds out later on. So she asks him, "Are you cheating on me?" And he's like, "No, I'm not." That pretty much blank out lies that he's not cheating on him. Well, well, it's not like he can actually go there and say, "Yeah, I am cheating on you with Lizzie, who is the person running your campaign." That just wouldn't look right. So he says no, and she's all happy and relieved, and that ends that. Olivia is still spying on Jake. She really thinks something's up. Now, at first, I thought that maybe it was Vanessa, his fiance, that might be doing something against it, but I think now it's actually Jake. So anyways, she's just spying on Jake, and Quinn's like, haven't really seen anything, and Olivia's like, gotta go to plan B. So Quinn acts like she used to go to college with Vanessa. Vanessa's her name, meets up with her, becomes friends with her, and actually gets information and finds out that Jake is asking for all her account. Now, I don't know what Jake would just give her fiance all her account numbers and bank accounts and information. Not even married yet, but this fool actually went ahead and did it. She gave him all her account numbers and information. And then from that on, Quinn realized, oh my gosh, that's what they're doing. They're taking her money to funnel money into a super PAC to support a presidential candidate. And then Olivia finds out that the presidential candidate is Norm. Well, not Norm, but Edison. Norm Lewis is the guy's real name. She goes to Edison. She was like, "Listen, Edison, I want to let you know that my father," because I don't think Edison knows that Papa Pope is this dangerous psycho. I think he just thinks like he was this guy that used to work at the Smithsonian and all. But then Olivia goes, "Hey, listen, you don't want my father working for you. You don't want my father. He's a dangerous, psychotic guy. You're a good guy, Edison. He's just crazy." But Edison's like, "I don't care. He's gonna help me become president. And your father has already came to me and said, I can make you president." Edison's like, "You know what? Do it." And then Olivia's like, "I can't believe you're doing that. You're working with a monster." And Edison was like, "No, I'm working with the monster's father." So Edison's calling Olivia a monster. Edison has no short of nasty words to say to Olivia. No short. So that was just one of plenty of nastiness that he always sends towards, verbally assaults Olivia with. So anyways, Olivia, prior to this, received an envelope. Well, actually received a visitation from this guy named Alex Vargas. And Alex Vargas is the brother of Frankie Vargas, the guy Cyrus is prepping to run for president. So he comes to Olivia and says, "Hey, listen, I've got dirt on Susan Ross if you can give me dirt on somebody else." And she's like, "I'm not playing your games." But later on, she decides that she wants to play these games because Edison is refusing not to work with her father. So she gets dirt on Edison, and Alice gives her dirt on Susan. Now, it's weird for me to see Olivia try to ruin Susan, considering that she was a really big supporter of Susan, even Susan becoming vice president. So to try to ruin Susan now, I would be really shocked if Olivia goes that way. But anyways, prior to that, she had actually went to her father, Papa Pope, and said, "Papa, Dad, should I use this information?" And he's looking at her like, "You want to use this information to ruin Edison, a guy that's been so kind and nice to you, but look at you, you trying to become a monster?" And so, Olivia has a lot of qualities about her father that she may not realize, but she, over the last couple seasons, she has pretty much deviated to being nothing more than female version of her dad. She may think that she's all good and sweet, but she never really was. All the stuff that she used to do just proves that she is in her father more ways than she wants to admit. So anyways, that's how that pretty much went. So she's going to go ahead and use that information because she's angry at Edison that he will not dump her father. So he is going to receive help from Papa Pope and run for president. But he has not actually went ahead and made the announcement. So after Olivia finds out that Jake, and her father is funneling money to a super PAC for Edison, she goes to the restaurant and confronts Jake. She takes him to the bathroom and she starts kissing all over him, seducing him. And she's like, pretty much, "I know what you and my dad are about to do. Just to know I'm watching you guys and I'm going to win." And she's getting she's getting him all horny and everything. And right when he's at that pivotal point, she says, "Bye." And she's gone. And she leaves, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to get my father back." And Jacob just standing there looking real stupid because she knows everything. So they're going to have to come up with plan B because Miss Pope knows the deal. pretty much. Now, the only thing now we're going into is whether Miss Pope is really going to use the information she got about Susan Ross to help Mellie, because Mellie really isn't polling well and she may not win. So we're going to have to see on next week's episode to see how that actually goes down. So that was pretty much basic. Oh, the most important thing is Susan, really afraid that David cheated on her, asked the president, "Hey, why did you cheat on your wife?" And Fitz is like, "Well, there's many reasons." And she was like, "Well, I think my boyfriend is cheating on me." And Fitz is like, "If you think he's cheating, he's cheating." So she dumps David, which is a very smart thing to do. I'm glad that she dumps David, and she's on her own. But what's even tricky is she goes to Lizzie's skank, and tells us, "Yeah, I dumped David because he's cheating." And then Liz goes, "With who?" And then Susan's like, "Does it matter?" But I think, that was a reaction because she was just wondering whether or not Susan knows that it was her. But the funny thing was Susan sitting there crying on this woman's chest, not knowing that this is the bitch that's pretty much sleeping with her man as well. So that was a very interesting part. So when that comes out, that's going to be really fun to see how Susan approaches Liz about it. So the episode ends with all three candidates getting ready to debate. And Olivia standing there trying to figure out whether she should use the information about Susan that she has against her. So next week's episode is going to be the debate 100%. It's going to be really funny to watch Hollis and Susan and Mellie like really go after each other. Sally is a debate host. It's going to be so funny, and all kinds of other crap is going to happen next week. So Scandal, a pretty good episode. I noticed that this second half season is a little different than the first half season. It's not focused a lot on Fitz and Olivia, as is it focused more on the show and the surroundings and other characters. It seems more of an ensemble cast now. We see more of David, more of everybody else than anything, So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you next week for another review of Scandal.